I keep a picture of a quote on my phone. I wish it came from a book, but I found it while procrastinating on Instagram. But I found it at the moment I needed to read it. I had spent the summer at home with my husband and our two beloved dogs, and I had just moved back up here without them to continue my degree. It came to me at a time when I felt very overwhelmed and lonely, unsure of how I would make it through another semester. The quote is by F. Scott Fitzgerald. "For what it's worth, it's never too late to be who you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over." I reflected on this perfectly worded quote, and I tried to identify what it was that had helped me, and most likely all of us, find that little fire inside us to get here today. And I think I figured it out. So today I want to talk about one of the best predictors of success. It's not always who you know, it's not talent, and it's not IQ. One of the best predictors of success is grit. Simply put, grit is perseverance, bravery, or determination. But even more than that, grit is the willingness and courage to fail. It's the ability to learn from our mistakes and start over. Grit is not giving up. And I'm not just talking about persevering through school or seeing a project through to the end. These things are gritty and they'll contribute to your success. But more importantly, I'm referring to not giving up on ourselves. I think it's safe to say, as we share in this moment of achievement together, that we've proven that we have grit. Now back to my opening quote and the idea of starting over. It has taken me a really long time to get here. I didn't go to college right out of high school because I didn't believe I was smart enough. I had a dream of being a veterinarian, but it was just that. It was a dream. It was something other people got to do, or something that happened to other people. And I didn't tell anybody my dream for fear that they'd laugh at me and validate my feelings. So after high school, I took a job at the first place that hired me. And I played different roles in the company and in the industry. And I switched companies. But through all of it, I never really felt like it was a fit for me. I never felt the desire to learn more or be more. But I felt stuck. It was the only thing I had experience in. And so I pressed on, and in the blink of an eye, I was 28 years old. I realized I had spent the last 10 years of my life doing something I didn't enjoy. An entire decade helping to achieve other people's dreams instead of working to achieve my own. I did this because somewhere along the line, I lost my grit. I was afraid to fail, afraid to look stupid, and I had given up on myself. This epiphany all took place conveniently in the middle of the recession, while people around me were losing their jobs and their homes and their retirement. And it made me think, what if I can never retire? Will I be able to find joy in what I'm doing if I have to do it every day for the rest of my life? And I don't think I'm allowed to tell you the exact words I used, but the answer was an emphatic no, absolutely not. I was now faced with a difficult and frightening decision. Do I suck it up and play it safe, make minor tweaks to find my happiness? Or do I take a chance on myself, start over, and potentially fail? To complicate the situation, it was a risk that would also affect my husband, and definitely our finances and our marriage. After talking to him about my desire to turn our life upside down and eat top ramen and tuna fish for the foreseeable future, and knowing that it would take us to where we are now, living in separate cities, I chose the unknown and I submitted my college application. And here I am, and I found my grit. Now maybe some of you can relate to that. I imagine most of you can't. But I'm sure that you can all relate when I say that these last few years have not been easy. Far from it. We've spent countless hours in lectures and study groups, tutoring centers and teachers' office hours, I've stayed up many nights crying at my kitchen table over calculus and physics homework. And we've all walked into exams feeling confident, like we got this, only to walk out an hour later like deflated balloons. We've all encountered setbacks on our journeys, and when I've encountered mine, I've questioned my decision to be here every time. But every time I'm reminded of a quote from a book titled Wild by Cheryl Strait. This book is about Priscilla's hike along the Pacific Crest Trail. And while on the trail, she was charged by a Texas longhorn. So fearing for her life, she runs into the scrub oak and closes her eyes as tightly as she can and blows on the safety whistle for as loud and as long as she can. And when she finally opens her eyes, the bull is gone, and she has no idea where it went. And she says, I considered my options. There were only two, and they were essentially the same. I could go back in the direction I had come from, or I could go forward in the direction I intended to go. The bull could be in either direction. I could only choose between the bull that would take me back and the bull that would take me forward. And so I walked on. I want everyone to identify an experience within the last 4 years, or however long it's taken to get here, where you have faced your own Texas longhorn. We all have at least one. Chem 2 exam. Yeah. I want you to remember that moment. Remember how you felt. Remember that feeling of frustration, fear, or defeat, or all of the above. That is the moment we are celebrating today. That is the moment you chose the bull that would take you forward. And that is when you found your grit. So I challenge all of you to leave here today and use that grit every day to become who you want to be and build a life you're proud of. Congratulations.